ago, you said?
Well, I've got 3 children, but 30 years ago, I basically, my mum, well, I don't call her a mother, an entity that I came out of. She was a paedophile. She had by proxy Munchausen's, and she worked in a hospital, so she took all the kids to the hospital, free will, to have things done to them that weren't wrong with them, abused us, sexually abused me, beat us, poisoned me with baby bio when I was still in nappies. And that's a different story, but we were living in my house when I gave birth to my first child at like 17, coming on 18. And she told me to go away for the weekend down to her home in Somerset, where my brother was living. And whilst I was there, she took my child, my home. She went to the women's refuge and said, my daughter's mentally ill and we need to go into hiding. So basically took my child. So I became homeless very young. And when there was a court, I was given 48 hours to go to court for these court proceedings, which I couldn't do, obviously, because I was in Somerset and I had no money and no member of my family would now put me up. So I'd become homeless. And then when I managed to get a court appearance, get a solicitor and get a court case, she ran off to Italy. So I got a job and it cost us like £24,000 to get her home. And she was in a really bad state. She'd been abused, all her hair had fell out. Anyway, I got rid of those proceedings kind of went. And then I met someone with domestic violence. I suffered domestic violence with them. And that's when social services stepped in and said, if I have to give up my home and move into a family protected unit, which I did. He found us there. They blackmailed me and said, if you don't move in, we'll take the children.
How long ago?
So I moved in.
Second event? How long? So this was a long time ago. So how long ago was the second event when this happened? When this actually happened? When they moved,
40, Kelly's just turned 14 years ago.
So this is the first 14 was 30 years ago when they did it, and the second instance was 14 years ago with the domestic violence. Yeah.
Oh, I had 2 lots of domestic violence. So I've had one with my son, who I still can't find. So they basically put me. He found us in the safe hostel. So they said, well, 10 o'clock at night they came and they're 2 big men and paperwork and said, we're taking the kids. I said, no, you're not. Over my dead body, are you? I said, you're not dragging my daughter out of bed this time of night. She can go to her father's in the morning and I'll have to bring my son in, because they knew I had no family or anywhere to go. So I had to hand him in, and the obvious happened. They kicked me out on the street and just said, you ain't got no kids, so you don't belong in this family home. So I kept in a tent for 3 years because they said I could go anywhere in the country to flee domestic violence. And I was young, so I went up to council after council saying, no, they said that you would help house me. And they said, well, our law doesn't work like that. So that was my eyes open to the real world. So I slept in a tent for 3 years, where I was fighting court case after court case from that tent, trying to get my children safe, because now the paedophile had come in and tried to say, I'll take them, bring them this way. And I was like, no, you're not. So there was a big 5-day court appearance with, 5 barristers, 5 solicitors and all that. And I managed to keep them out of her hands. But when I became homeless, I lost contact with my other children. Obviously, mobile phones weren't out or anything like that. And people made life really hard for me to see them. And I've been on and off the streets in domestic violence, relationships, on and off, went to college, had to leave for violence. And eventually I met Kelly's father, who was another domestic violence. And I managed to keep them at bay, the social services, but they refused to help me. I told them what was happening to me, because they told me help to tell them, and I told them, and they just said, well, if you can't look after her, we'll take her. So I managed to keep him out of the house for like 18 months. And then he wanted contact, and I refused because he'd already threatened to kidnap her. He said, if I can't see her, if I don't see her, then you can't have her, basically. I won't allow it. And that's exactly what he did. He went to court and fought for his contact, which he was allowed like 2 hours a week and then bring her back. And we used to meet in a car park, like by Farm Foods, it was a shopping centre where we lived. And he didn't return her after 6 hours. So I ended up calling the police, and he attacked me in the car park. I was trying to get Kelly out of the car because it was really hot and sunny, and his wife was there, and he was shouting at her, like, start the engine. And I said to her, like, don't do that because you'll be kidnapping her. Don't be an accessory. But she was obviously scared of him, and they drove off with her. And I told the police, look, I've got this court order saying that he's only allowed 2 hours because of this and that. And they totally ignored it and said, oh, don't worry, she'll be back in the morning. And I'm like, well, it's been a long night, hasn't it? 14 years long. She never returned. And for a year, I couldn't find her. And I asked social services, I said, look, she's been kidnapped. Look at this court order. And they said, well, it's nothing to do with us. She's not on the CLA. The child looked after register. So what are you asking us for? We it's none of our business. And I was like, oh, right, okay. And it took a year later. I don't know, they say that it was a suicide pact him and his wife had, and ended up in the hospital. So Kelly was handed in to social services. But then Kelly remembers it that her dad hurt his shoulder in the park, and an ambulance was called, and that's why she ended up going into care. So she was never taken off of me. And then I can't get her out of there. And when she was due to come home for 4, and the barrister said, I've never seen anyone turn a courtroom around before, but I had. She got sexually abused in the foster home, and they turned the table. They said, you have no bond with your child, and brought in fake psychiatrists to do reports, brushed it under the carpet, stopped me seeing Kelly for 5 years. We had no contact, even though I was trying constantly, battling my way. And I said, I'm going to go public about the abuse, and got threatened with imprisonment. Obviously, if I did, you won't get very far, you know. And they took Kelly out of school when she was 8 or 9 because she was starting to verbalise everything, the truth. And she hasn't been into mainstream school since she was 8. She can't write, like she writes like an 8-year-old, and she has been dissocialised from children. She hasn't had human contact with children properly. She's had like one friend, maybe she's seen 6 times in 8 years. She's always around 2 adults in the high street. She started running away to mine last year. And we started standing our grounds, and the police were all right. They were coming to do checks at the house and going, we don't know what the problem is. I've done so many assessments for them and passed, and then they pretend they don't know what I'm talking about. And then now, of course, Kelly's tried to get her advocate in to say she wants to press charges on the people of the sexual abuse, and she's being attacked in these Keys homes that she's in at the moment. And we've got video evidence of when she was, I think she was 11, maybe 10 or 11, in one of these Keys homes, in these farms that aren't even on the Google Maps. These farms they're using, and the social worker nearly lost her job getting me in because she was bawling her eyes out, going to me, I can't bear this. I didn't sign up to watch this happen to a child. And got me into this farmhouse with barbed wire around it. And I turned around and said, what's the barbed wire all about? And they were like, oh, well, it's to protect the cows. And I'm like, I've never seen a cow jump a wall. Do you know what I mean? And she couldn't run from there because it was in the middle of nowhere. And I presume that's where she's, in one of these buildings now that's off the Google map. You can't find them. She's been attacked she was staying in a house for a couple of years in Medden Street, but because of her the torture they put her through, she started to self-harm and stop eating. So I'm so worried for her at the moment because she'll be well underweight, and they're not letting doctors in. It's just gone, because this house she was living in wasn't equipped for her needs. They said she has to go, so her time was up, and social services couldn't find a replacement, and they will not allow her to come home. I'm still asking for a piece of paper saying why not. You can't give me a valid reason why she can't return. So she went into hospital because of her eating recently, and what I did was she called me to come up. Kelly called me, so I went to the hospital, and the doctor said she could go home. The social services turned around and said, no, she can't go back to her placement because they've thrown her out. I went, so she's NFA then? And they turned around and said, well, no. And I said, well, I'm going to take her home. I'm taking her out of this hospital. And they're like, no, well, we've got security. And I'm like, no, I know the law here. And I'm telling you, I'm leaving this hospital. And they refused to give Kelly her shoes, so she couldn't go anywhere. So I gave her my shoes and I went walking out in the rain, and the police were called. We went back to the police station for 4 hours. We sat there and the policeman was going, what's going on? I said, my daughter's NFA. I'm trying to tell you, they're using you now as a B&B for the night. And apparently one of the police officers ended up screaming at a social worker, and all of a sudden Kelly was allowed to go back to her this placement overnight. And then the next day, of course, I get this restraining order. You're going to get a restraining order. This Judge Ingham comes in and says, yeah, we'll just do that because we can, and invite her dad in to have a go at you and say you're rubbish and you're this, so we can just belittle you. And we're going to take a dole order out on Kelly. And I was like, what on earth's going on? In under a couple of weeks, they were having like 3 court cases a week, all just completely illegal, obviously. And then they put her into a holiday chalet for a couple of days, and then they moved her to another holiday place in a caravan, and that's where they moved her out to Wales with this illegal dole order, because they can't find her anywhere and they won't let her come home. They're trying to brush everything under the carpet with the sexual abuse. 2 CAFCAS officers are both arguing because one in one area is saying she needs mental assessment, the other one's saying that she doesn't. The doctor said she's fine, to drag her around the country. And that's basically where we're at now. And she said, Mum, please go public. Because before she was like, I don't want people knowing my business. But she was like, Mum, I have to just do it. Go and get a group, whatever it is, get this group page. So I went public, which happened really quickly. And Kelly decided to film it and was doing like recordings from the placement in this attic room they put her in. But now she's been moved where nobody knows where she is, took her phone off her, no communication from the outside world. There's been since this court case on Friday, we've had nothing apart from that letter I showed you to Andrew. That's been written by Kelly, but to me, that's someone held hostage who's like, I'll write anything to get myself out of here. So there's been no medical reports. I don't know where, what, hows, and that's why it's kind of come up to this point now, you know. But it turns out apparently her dad's been signing dole orders to be given or something, which I've only just found out because he rang up that Victoria, started having a go at her a couple of days back, didn't he, for no reason, the father of Kelly.
Social services handed out information, other people's information to the father.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's, wow. I mean, I haven't actually asked you the full picture of what's gone down with you, actually, Karen. So, you know, absolute disgust, absolutely disgust.
Voting, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah. So just to brush your Anthony, basically. Yeah. I saw the video of her daughter Kelly. Yeah. I saw the video, but I'd missed the video itself, and there was 2 people there from another agency. I don't know what it was. It wasn't meant to be social services, but these people were from Wales and was taking her away. Staff
from the new house, weren't they?
Yeah. And this is where Kelly was, like the daughter. And she called. They got the police out. but they'd made a claim there that they'd got a dole's order, which would come from the court. So
they got what kind of order?
A dole's order.
A dole's order.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Don't know what it is, but anyway, this dole's order, yeah.
They got a court order. Okay.
That's what these women had claimed. And basically, I was trying to get in but I'd missed the opportunity. I didn't catch it live, but it was a live feed that it was being done. To tell her to ask the policeman to confirm that the actual dole's order is actual official and it's from the court. So then I got obviously in touch with Karen, and basically this was, I mean, because it was like virtually within 3 days. So it was on I think it was a Thursday. I got in touch with you, Karen, wasn't it? And you was in court on the Friday.
Yeah, or the Wednesday. We had like a day in
it could have been
days.
Wednesday. Yeah, it was the Wednesday. No, it was the Wednesday, wasn't it? It was the
Wednesday.
So basically, we quickly, Karen filled in the form, the application for the case man 1, 2, and 3 that we've done, and sent that in by registered delivery to the court and also by email. And then obviously on the Friday, which there's been no return, she went into the court on Friday and basically stipulated to the judge that number one, that her name was Karen-Louise, and that she'd never been issued with any proceedings issued by the court. And at the beginning, the judge was being fairly reasonable. She said that she'd find that she would call her Karen-Louise, because that's what she'd asked her to call. She'd also stated that she was in there by special divine appearance, so that she was appearing as a woman, as she was there as the woman, as the mother, and that she'd never been served with any proceedings, that she'd sent in by recorded delivery, which the judge herself confirmed that yes, that had been received, which was the request. But she said that's up to the court, that's up to the court manager and up to their discretion whether they give them to you or not. Yeah. And so on and so forth. But Karen just repeated it 3 times. She'd repeated it more than ample, stating that she'd never had any case files, never been served with any proceedings issued by the court. This wasn't a court case, it was a fake court case. And basically, she also put it on the record that this case is struck out, it's null and void, void ab initio, and to return my property within 24 hours, and to issue a court date for a later date to settle for the damages that's been caused. And you can hear it. But also, when we did actually send it, we actually sent that in. We actually sent in all the previous court case numbers, alleged court case numbers.
Yeah, and that's only half of them, wasn't it?
Yeah, we sent in 10. We sent in 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, we sent in 10.
Because that's only for the last 14 years, and I haven't got the old paperwork for the 15 years before, because that got
binned
by
out the house, and they chucked it all in the bin. The people, she was throwing out the house, and they just binned all the stuff, stole all the stuff, and shut what they didn't want in the bin. So they destroyed all her evidence. So I'll tell you what, guys, I'm going to leave you just because I mean you've never met Anthony. What I'm saying is Anthony's on the same page as me. We're on the same page, know exactly what I do. So let you have a little banter while you do this, because I've got to go and pick the wife up.
Okay.
Yeah, so you I don't know if you know about me and the scambuster.tv campaign that I'm doing.
No, I don't. I saw you do one live and talking about your wife being took to jail.
Well, they tried. They never
tried.
Had,
I mean,
but they in the end, the court manager gave us a nice letter, nicely signed, nicely written, that it was all a fake.
Right. Okay. So you won it.
Well, I mean, that letter should free every other person facing for. You see, I don't know you, Karen.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anything you're saying to me is true.
Yeah, that's very true.
I always give people the benefit of the doubt. And in this context, I'm just interested in to investigate whether the court proceeding is legitimate or is a counterfeit. Let's say you're a bad mother, you're guilty, you've been everything you've done wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did somebody make up a counterfeit court claim? to steal your child or to put you at some disadvantage or take advantage of you on the belief you will never find out.
Yeah,
You
basically.
understand?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you're guilty, you're a bad mother, you're a liar, you're
No.
everything under the sun, right?
To these
So
people.
put that aside. Does
Yeah.
that give anybody a right to claim that they have authentic court proceeding? I'm not saying a court order, because a court order is one part of a proceeding. A lot of
Okay.
people make up a little piece of paper and say it's a court order,
Right.
but a court order has to come out of court proceedings.
Right. Okay.
Legitimate.
Right. Right.
Step A, step B, step C. It must be all in the computer.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah, I do.
And that's why when you ask for the case management, section 1, 2, and 3, the minute they don't give it to you, no, it's a suspicious case.
Right. Because we wrote a letter for that already, and
Within 72 hours.
Yeah, no.
It's an emergency. You must be able to walk in the court and get it, but let's say 72 hours, because it might, they might have it in a different site, but it shouldn't be, because it's on the computer. But the file, the court file, to view the file, somebody has a court file against you. It's affecting your life. You're living in a tent.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. You need to see that court file immediately.
Yeah.
And the minute they hesitate to show you the court file, it's already suspicious.
Yeah.
So this is how I'm working on the court procedure. Yeah.
Okay. So what is it you said you're doing? A show of some sort?
We do. I do quite a few videos, but first of all, I have my own case, and my family, they robbed us of property.
Right.
And locked me in jail. I served nearly a month in Wormwood Scrubs without a conviction and without a prosecution. Wow. Because they wanted to sell my house with vacant possession.
All right. Oh,
you understand?
God. Yeah.
They put my baby on the street 3 times, and my tenant's baby. And the child protection officers who were supposed to protect children, they were involved in some way. Right. They never protected the children, but as time went on, the 2 child protection officers, Christopher Maitland and Stefan Kedek, were jailed in Barnet.
Right.
Jailed
Barnet, that's where it happened to me, in Barnet. My son's proceedings.
Child sexual offenses. They were jailed for, the 2 child protection officers.
Right.
So if you were in Barnet, have you ever come across with your cases Judge Nicholas Parfit?
It was so long ago now. It was like 20 years ago. Well,
he was one of the judges on my false case. Okay. And he's in the papers from Barnet County Court, court making up false court orders.
Right. Yes, you're giving me hope.
I'm telling you. So the thing is, if you know how to fight,
yes,
it reduces your burden, because you're not trying to prove your innocence. Nobody can prove your innocence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because nobody was there. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And it's hard, and also a lot of things is up to the discretion of the jury or the judge or whatever.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But the problem is, where you cannot lose, Karen, is to check whether you have been the victim of a false case, a counterfeit case.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you what I've learned. That a lot of services in the council is delegated to a company called Capita.
Okay.
Now, they work for the council. They don't say Capita. I had it with my mentor, Mr. Ebert, who wrote the book called The Forensics of Legal Fraud. What happened to him? He was illegally evicted and all that. So he was claiming housing benefit. He's a pensioner, by the way, yeah?
Okay.
And he had a private pension. They stole that private pension. So anyway, after some time, he had from the court that he had to pay back 60,000 pounds benefit. So he took it to court, you know. And then when they went to court, the Barnett lawyers and stuff were talking to the judge for over an hour before the trial.
Yeah.
So when she came out, he said, how come you're talking to the judge so long? And he says, oh, the judge is a director on Capita. And we're Capita, we're from Capita. He said, but how come your name, Capita name is on the paperwork, it says only Barnett. How come the Capita? He said, we have a power of attorney. So a lot of the services, including the social services and children's services,
Yeah.
they are Capita bloody people.
Right. Capita,
understand?
how do you spell that?
Oh, you never heard? Type into the internet, yeah?
Yeah.
Capita killers.
How do you spell that?
Capita.
Capita. All right, I will do that.
They're a
later.
private company. Capita, they're on the stock market and all this. yeah?
Right.
So,
Okay.
so we're trying to crash their share price because they're making their money out of counterfeit court cases.
Right. Okay.
Capita and Marston's and what's the other one? I can't remember. Marston's, Capita, Equita comes on the Capita. They're all part of the same Rothschild house of cards.
Okay.
If you go to company's house and Google them, you will see 1,000 directors, 1,000 companies,
Right.
1,000 secretaries, all resigning and rotating. It's a money laundering
right.
scam.
I
Yeah?
see.
So now Capita is involved also in the hospital.
Right.
I understand that the council sends a free receptionist to the GP. So when you go to your GP, there's a friendly lady there greeting you or something, and you think it's part of the practice. It's a free secretary from the council, but from the council means Capita.
Right.
And they're collecting all your health information.
Wow.
So now they can destroy you any minute they like.
Wowza.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now Capita, from I've heard on good authority, sends their people to join the police.
Right. They're in everywhere, aren't they?
The hospital, the local authority, the court, the pyramid of terror.
Wow. Wow.
Capita killers. You Google that on YouTube.
I will.
Yeah?
I will.
So this is the problem we're facing. My house was repossessed and all that. I complained to the council to investigate it because that's the law. The council has to investigate.
Yeah.
Now the bailiffs been threatening me and all that. They're Capita bailiffs coming under different names.
Oh no.
So they are supposed to investigate themselves. You see? So the people who took your children, and legally or illegally, I don't know, but you're in the process of investigating, yeah?
Yes, absolutely.
And this is in the public interest to find out,
Yeah.
not to come and harass you for contempt of court on fake cases.
Yes, that's correct.
So this video is your defense. Anybody come to ask you about contempt of court, they must prove that it's a legitimate and lawful court.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, issued by a court of record.
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine you have Capita people in the court, you have Capita people on the council, on the social services, and in the police.
Yeah.
How are you going to win anything?
Yeah.
Understand?
Yeah.
The only way you can win, and you can't win on your own, you have to join the crew and participate as a crowd. We have a petition going. There's over 5,000 people signed it. Yeah.
Okay.
We have about 50 or 60 proven cases on there with the different people and myself. As I'm talking to you now, my nephew is disappeared.
Oh no.
He's a grown man, you know, but
all right.
He was living in my house when we got evicted. Then everywhere he went, they evicted him again. And we done the same investigation. We got a letter from the court in black and white you've never been evicted from anywhere.
Right.
6 evictions, but we're relying on Barnet Council to investigate, and Barnet Council is Capita, and most of those illegal eviction is done by Capita.
Right.
Yeah. So now he's missing. The last time, previous time he was missing, the police came and arrested him, said they have 2 warrants. Well, this is people who look like police, but they're either off-duty police or fake police in uniform.
Right.
Because when we found the custody suite in Wood Green, they said they have no record of him. And when we found 101 and inquired, they have no record of it.
Right.
So these are fake police.
Right. It's not funny, is it?
So what you're dealing with here, we have to become, we're dealing with the mafia.
Yeah.
We have to become a Colombo.
Yeah.
You understand? They can never prove anything on the proceeding.
Right.
They can't show you a sealed order.
Right.
They can't show you that they file a claim in the court.
Okay.
They can't prove that they served you. They can't provide a copy of the receipt for the fee that they paid to issue the court claim.
Yeah.
They can't show you the computer case management file section 1, 2, and 3. So what have they got?
Nothing.
Now, the crime, let's say you're a bad mother and you abuse your child and shout at them and slap them and I don't know, whatever you do, you're really guilty and bad. Yeah? What is the penalty for these people making up false court cases? How many children could they steal like this? Just come along with the police.
Yeah, I know.
The Capita crew.
Yeah.
Say they have a court order and take your child into the sex trafficking industry.
Yep.
You see where we are, Karen?
Yeah, I do.
So all the burden and the fight you've been going through, you can just put it down.
Yeah.
You concentrate to prove, you don't have a burden of proof, they do.
Yes, I understand that now.
Let them prove that the court orders that they say they have, all 10 of them, were legitimate and lawful.
Yeah.
I had a Zoom call with a police officer. What's his name? Can't remember his name. It's on the internet somewhere. He said the punishment for this kind of crime, faking a court order, is life imprisonment.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, every court order that comes out of the council that I have investigated in the last 5 years since I've got into this industry has turned out to be a counterfeit.
Right.
We have a letter from the court manager in Croydon Magistrates that the councillors they hire the court once a month.
Right.
And invite their customers, and the case numbers they have are not court case numbers. They are not on the public register. And the documents you have are not from the court.
Yeah.
What more do we need?
No, what more do we need? Yeah.
So we can't get any result, each one fighting on their own.
Yep.
So if you look at the petition, scambuster.tv,
okay,
you will see a lot of people on there, a lot of comments, a lot of activity. On the YouTube, we got the YouTube videos and social media, Facebook.
Yeah.
And
where am I going to? Sorry. Scambusters, did you say?
Scam, you know, like scam,
Yeah.
Scambuster,
Yeah.
www.scambuster.tv.
Yep.
And just you can just look me up on Facebook. I've tried to friend you on Facebook and all that.
Okay.
And I'm on social media. So what I'm doing, I'm putting together a list of my social media because it's all over the place. I'm slowly trying to migrate into the blockchain. Yeah.
Right.
Because Facebook is censoring, Google is censoring, YouTube is censoring, LinkedIn.
Yeah.
they all become a fascist kind of the judge and jury.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And it's not what is right and wrong, it's what they don't like, what conflicts their agenda.
Yeah.
I've won several cases against all of them, but you know, they're a big machine. So we're trying to shift into the blockchain to get uncensored content, you know.
What's the blockchain?
I am
sorry.
you know, we had once upon a time, you write letters, yeah?
Yeah.
And lick the envelope. And then we had a fax, yeah?
Yeah.
Then we had email.
Yeah.
Then we had something called the internet.
Yeah.
People could just put something up in the world and somebody else across the world could look at it.
Yeah.
And now we have a new kind of technology called blockchain.
Blockchain, right. Never heard of it.
It's just an advancement on the normal computer things.
Right.
But what it is, when something goes in the blockchain, it can be no master, no, everybody's kind of equal. If you don't like my content, you can sue me, but you can't take it down.
Right, okay.
You can take me to court and get it properly. Not like Facebook law.
Yeah.
And YouTube law, where they
oh, nice. Yeah.
So anyway, I will send you my links.
Yes.
You can sign up because one we use as a opposition to YouTube. It's called Odyssey. Yeah.
Odyssey.
So we have the videos there. I still on YouTube, you know, but whatever YouTube bans, you can still find it there.
Okay.
So this is the way we got to fight with social media and joining up together. I just had some wonderful messages today from a guy called Colin Peters. He's been fighting for years and years and years, and it was very complimentary of the work I've been doing and stuff. And somebody's promised me they're going to make an ebook out of all the comments that people have made on the videos and on the petition. And it is a lot of thousands and thousands of comments. So we're pushing this way. Every time we do a release, we send it to all the MPs and most of the journalists that we can find, hundreds of them. They will never publish, of course, because you can publish anything in this world as long as it doesn't include something to do with a false court order that you can't publish. Nobody has ever published that except scam. You know, you'll see on Facebook and things, but we're tackling it, Karen, head on.
Yeah.
This is my baby. This is the diamond tip of my work, because I find it is easy to prove. It's a big scandal. It's ready for plucking like TPI. The time has come.
Yeah.
We have all the evidence.
Yeah.
And if somebody has stole your children on the false pretense that they had legitimate orders issued by the court, that is your battleground. Forget all the drama and the stories and the domestic. Forget all of it.
Yeah.
None of it gives anyone a right to come to you and say we have a court order when they fully well know the court never issued. They made it up under the table.
Yeah.
And that's why they can't back it up with all the credentials I just went through earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, and God bless Andy. He's helping you to draft your investigation.
Yeah, and understand it all really as well.
From the time, well, it's very simple. You said you did certain things against me. Show me. Yeah?
Prove your claim. Prove your claim. Prove that's authentic.
You said you drove this car to visit me, yeah? Let me have a look if there's any engine in there. Open the bonnet for me. Yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe you came in an Uber and you're telling me this Ferrari is yours. Yeah?
Yeah.
So that's all we're doing. We're saying to the whoever is making the claim against us, verify to me that you actually made a legitimate claim and you're not just using violence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fear trips, isn't it?
Yeah, and we've proven so many cases. There was one guy we did a Zoom with a couple of weeks ago called George. We're calling him London George, yeah? He went to jail for a year, blah, blah, blah. We asked the Court of Appeal for the order. We didn't go deep, just sometimes you ask for very little. You're easy to get an answer.
Yeah.
So we said, give me the sealed order that was used in Court of Appeal, because they had to be an order from the magistrate, an order from the Crown Court, and order from the Court of Appeal. So there must be 3 sealed orders there, yeah? We got a reply back. We don't have any sealed orders on your file. Yeah? Now, the man's been to jail for a year and lost his career, and he's been fighting 18 years since. He hired 40 different lawyers, including the lawyer who won the Stephen Lawrence case. And not one of the 40 lawyers took the trouble to establish whether there was a legitimate claim against the man in the first place.
Oh, no.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And we got in 7 days in writing from the Court of Appeal, there is no sealed order on this file. Game is over.
Absolutely. This is so I was saying, and we should say it on here as well, because I was explaining to Karen, like, yeah, what you've got to imagine here. Imagine, yeah, you've got these people never, because I mean, Anthony, as you described the fact that if they actually do admit to the wrongs that's being done here, not only are they therefore admitting all the previous things that they've done wrong, so that's one form of gun at the head, but ultimately also there is another gun at their head, because once this has been exposed and established for the people to actually see it, although it's been exposed and established as far as anybody with with more than one brain cell can see, it's clearly that there is no authentic court case here. They have breached all the procedures and they're all awash. They're all counterfeit, and this is a complete scam, and that they're all working together. But ultimately, there's a gun to every one of their heads from all the other people as well to not come clean and not tell. You know what I mean? So you imagine if, I mean, like you was explaining about a family lawyer. I mean, it was a friend of Anthony's, his lawyer. He'd asked 4 times. On the 4th time of asking him, when he couldn't ignore anymore, on the 4th time of that, he said, "I'm professionally embarrassed." He's left. He had to leave the case because he couldn't say that. Okay, I'm going to go and get there, because he wouldn't get it. He couldn't get it. He was professionally embarrassed. In other words, he wasn't allowed to get it because they know. They all know. They all know fully well what they're doing. And he was just on. They'll give you anything, but they'll go every way around it, but just admitting to the fact, because there's nothing here. It's nothing. Because if they wouldn't see, it's like John when I was saying, I was like, puff the magic dragon, they'll just go up in smoke, because it's all fiction. It's all an illusion. But once the facts come out, yeah, it'll abolish all of the illusion for everybody, which is what is that PPI, which is what we're after. It's not for the money. It's not for the money. I mean, that's just people being redressed. I mean, it's the first time tonight, actually, because I'd never asked. I said, I'm not interested in what's happened, didn't I, Karen? I said,
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
What I'm interested about is if what's being done is being done correctly.
Yeah,
that's all. Let's just focus on what's being done is being done correctly. That's it.
Oh, okay. Can we try and wrap it up? So we don't want to make the video too long. Are you okay? We put this out, Karen, on the internet?
Yeah, that's fine.
So what we're gonna do, we're gonna share this screen, and I'm gonna show you what I got from the court after asking several times. Yeah. This is the case I went to jail for. Yeah, Wormwood Scrubs. So I'm gonna share the screen. Where are we? Could it be that one? No.
At the bottom. Looking for
I got too many things open. I'll find it in 1 second. No, not that one. Okay, there we go. That one. So how do I get that one to share?
Click on it. It should come up in your box. Just click on that one. So click on share screen on the bottom. And you should see.
Okay, show all windows. Here we go. Now, this is the one where the lawyer was acting for me from EBR Attridge Solicitors in Tottenham. And after 4 times of asking to get me the information which was laid, and he said, sorry, I'm professionally embarrassed. So I carried on my own, asking. Another 2 years it took me. So here is what the court says. I asked them, provide me a copy of the information laid and served on me to issue the proceedings. That's the only way you can be prosecuted. There is no other way. Here is the answer. The matter you referred through, police bailed, blah, blah, blah. They would not have laid information before the court. So I was never prosecuted. Yeah, and now I have a confession.
Right.
You can't get a better win than a confession, can you?
Yeah, no.
So you ask this question until and keep repeating like a broken record, because this is your win. Don't discuss no drama. Don't discuss your health, your mood, your feeling. Don't discuss nothing. I want to see how you made a claim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you pay a fee to the court? Is there the case management file? Yeah. Is there a notice of issue? Blah, blah, blah. Trust me. If I had to put, I was a betting man, I had to put money each time, win or lose, I would be incredibly rich.
Have you actually found one where there was an actual case, where there actually was a case management file and the filing fee paid and an issue?
Yeah. They do exist.
They do,
especially when I'm the claimant. Yeah.
Yeah. When we do it, there is. And we do it on and about.
So we know. And I've seen good case management files. I've seen good things. Sometimes you get the case management file, but the fee wasn't paid. Sometimes you get they fabricate the case management file, but you can always tell because they never copy. I tell you a joke with George. Yeah, the Court of Appeal sent us an order, but they forgot to print it off and make it a PDF and so on. They sent it to us in Word, in a Word document. They forgot it. On my case, Harrow Crown Court, I asked them to send me the order, and they sent me the whole program, which they used to make up the fake order.
Oh no!
The whole computer software, yeah.
I love it.
Because they did it in the night and they were not thinking straight, and the coffee probably wasn't strong enough. I don't know. But they sent the whole program. So they are making it and faking it. So Karen, I'm gonna wish you good luck and God bless. I hope you can clear it and bring some what do you call it, closure in some of these things in your life. And you sound like a beautiful human being. I hope you can go out and bless the world.
And Kelly home will be amazing. She can get a start in life, you know.
And all right, well, thank you very much. And Andy, we must catch up tomorrow. Finally, the weeks we haven't spoken properly.
Exactly, mate.
All right.
Tomorrow, mate. Take care, Anthony. Bye-bye now.
Nice to meet you.
Aye, you can talk now. I've stopped.